Welcome back. So I'm going to issue a warning with this video. The contents in this video may easily offend some of you, so it may be a good idea that you don't watch or you switch off now if you are easily offended. That's a fair enough warning, I think. In this video, we're going to talk about psychic versus medium. What I've started to do at my demonstrations of late is explain to people what mediumship is, and in a very simple, kind of easy to understand way for the purpose of the video. It's a moment to prove life is eternal, beyond a reasonable doubt that the consciousness of a loved one still exists. For the next 7 to 10 minutes or the next 30 minutes during a one-to-one reading or a platform demonstration, the loved one will prove their life through evidential statements, and talk about their personality, their character, in effect, their story. At no point will they be talking about you bumping the car or falling over, or anything that's going on in your everyday life in this 7 to 10 minutes or 30 minutes. This is a period of time where they are going to express that they're still alive, very much still alive, and they're going to prove that through giving the medium the information of their character, their personality, their evidence to what the medium's mind can hold. I've realised very quickly that I'm going to try and make this a short video, and it's not going to happen. So during a demonstration, they're not going to be talking about everything that's going on in your world and things that are going wrong when they have sort of 7 to 10 minutes to talk about them and prove their life eternal. This is a sure sign that the medium in question has gone into the psychic work, and many people are going to disagree with me here, get lots of thumbs down and lots of horrible messages in my inbox, but the reality is that they've got 7 to 10 minutes to spirit world to prove their life, and it will always focus on them. It's their moment, it's their chance to have their voice again, and they've got 7 to 10 minutes. They're not going to go into the life of the person receiving the message. Now, this is something that I talk about quite a lot from the platform. I say to people, I'm not here for psychic. I'm not here to tell you when your fella's coming or your woman's coming. I'm not here to tell you when the money situation's going to turn around. I'm not here to talk about that thing that's going on in your world right now. I'm here to give the voice of the loved one to show you that life is eternal. And the argument will be, well, maybe they need a little bit of guidance or a little bit of clarity on said relationship or on said monetary issue. But I think a lot of people are missing the overall message, the overall point that life is eternal. And in that very message, it should highlight, that maybe we focus too much energy or time or effort on worrying about things that really don't require that much. That's easy for me to say. I hear you say across the screen, but I've made the mistake on worrying too much about life here and now. You're absorbed in it, aren't you? But the overall message is, don't waste so much energy on it. Life is eternal, it goes on. And hindsight is a wonderful thing when we can look back on the mistakes, on the things that we wasted too much time and energy on, to look at it now and go, yeah, I definitely did do that. So it's a moment. It's just a moment in the life of the recipient, the client, the individual. However, the proving of life after life is monumental. Now, don't get it twisted with what I'm saying. I appreciate that some people can get on with life and the best thing that can happen to them is a psychic reading. I totally get that. Maybe they are so deep in despair and depression that they need some sort of guidance from that. And I appreciate that. That's where that part of this work is valuable. I totally agree. What I don't agree with is that psychic work being done off of a mediumship platform. It's an evening of clairvoyance. It's an evening of communication, of evidential communication. So that's what I expect when I go to that. I don't buy tickets to a football match and go to the football match and then they bring out a bat and ball and start playing baseball or cricket. That's not what I paid for. It's not what I'm there for. If I wanted a cricket match or a baseball game, then I would have gone to that place to buy that. I've gone for an evening of mediumship, an evening of communication, an evening of evidence. Then that's what I expect to get when I go to that evening. So a lot of people will inbox me and ask me, like, how do I know the difference, Charlie? How do I know when I'm slipping into that psychic? How do I know when it's not the spirit world giving me that information? And the harsh reality, the way that I develop my mediumship is very straightforward, very black and white. And I think hopefully most of you know that now about my style of mediumship. I make sure that the information's all about the communicator. Absolutely, what's your story? And then I start expressing the story that they're giving me. If at any point I start going into topics of the individual, the likelihood is I've slipped the mechanic. I've slipped into that psychic mode. Now that doesn't happen at my demonstrations because I work so hard at giving the spirit world their voice for that 7 to 10 minutes or the 30 minutes within the one-to-one reading. But again, certain clients need certain things, and one-to-ones maybe I want some communication, I want some psychic. And again, it's up to you whether you cater for that or not. On a public platform, very, very different. So the message may be profound, it may be very dialed in to a particular thing. But it'll always fall in line with the evidence that they've brought. So they've had evidence of a terrible relationship with mum and father, and it split, and it was violent and financial issues. And then they will discuss that in the message. It will sync up, everything will line up from the evidence that's given. You will find within the message that is being given to the client. So everything forms and ties up perfectly, no loose ends whatsoever. So that's where I think when I'm going to watch a medium, I don't want to be seeing a psychic on a mediumship platform. There was a wonderful post on Facebook yesterday by Gordon Smith, the medium. And it was something like, if you need to go to a clairvoyant to ask them whether you should marry him or not, then the answer should be no. Take responsibility. And I laughed, I gave a chuckle, because unfortunately that's the way clairvoyant is interpreted now. It's not about proving life, it's about helping you out in a tough situation. It's about giving you answers to difficult decisions, and you're kind of like, people are looking for, it's a point of blame, isn't it? If the marriage was to go wrong in said example there, then they can go, well, the spirit world told me to marry him or her. When if you need to ask that question, then you really shouldn't be marrying. I thought it was a wonderful post, I really enjoyed it. But I thought it highlighted the interpretation of mediumship nowadays. It is about proving life after life. It's not about answering questions like, should I marry him or not? And that, unfortunately, is down to the calibre that is being shown on public platforms, lack of evidence, lack of communication in general. As I said to you before, I think there is a place for the psychic work. Maybe it is an entertainment evening that's going on at the local pub, or let me adjust that light. Maybe it is that you want a sense of direction, or where to go, or what to do. I totally get it. I'm just someone that's never never thought that I should hand that kind of responsibility over to a stranger in most cases. The turning of a card or using a crystal or a pendulum and that sort of stuff. I just think my life's a little bit too important to be just hinging important details on the turn of a card. I think if you take a look at your life in general, I think the toughest moments have taught you a lot about you. They've helped shape the future that you've walked into. Hopefully, in most cases there, you've formed a better future for yourself, or a better understanding of life and where you need to say no and where you need to be strong. And I think handing that responsibility over to someone else, in my opinion, is just a little bit too much. So I tend not to delve into it. I tend not to be near it or go there, you know. But I get it, you know. I get a couple of friends and you go to an evening, like a psychic evening at a local pub or whatever, can be fun. But it's not mediumship. And the two are very, very different. And I think they should be kept very, very different. And unfortunately, I think the public have this understanding that they're one of the same and they're polar opposites. They're completely different. So it's up to the mediums out there. It's up to the psychics as well, really, to not say the spirit world are saying this when you're doing it on the turn of a card, or doing it through evidential communication because you've proved beyond a reasonable doubt that you have their loved one there with you. And that this distinct difference between the two will leave the client with no argument. No, it was definitely psychic. It was all about me, about my world, about what's going on. No, it was absolutely mediumship. He spoke to my dad, and my dad proved himself by telling me this and this. And then the overall understanding, that global consciousness or understanding on psychic and mediumship is cleared up. So, one of those, innit? Talking point. I have no doubt my inbox will go absolutely crazy over this one. But someone needs to talk about it. We're all talking about it behind closed doors, but no one wants to come out and speak about it. So I don't really get it. Spirit world means too much to me, so I'm going to stand up. Like the video if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. I don't really care. Get in the comments. Say what you think. Say what you feel. Subscribe if you aren't already. I'm sure you're not going to hit subscribe if you don't like it. That recent live feed I done, I said something quite controversial, lost a load of subs immediately, but gained them back with the people that want it. And this is what this channel's about. I want an organic following. I want people that feel as passionate and as strongly as I do about the spirit world, and get that message out there. So subscribe if you aren't already. And I'm going to call it a day. So I will see you in the next video.